Today was day 8 of Brian Walsh's murder trial, and the Commonwealth has rested their case. They have presented all of the evidence that they're going to present, and now Brian's team gets to go. And today the Commonwealth presented some of their strongest evidence of premeditation. 2 of Anna's friends testified today, and both of them had things to say about Anna's feelings about Brian. We started with Anna and Brian's friend Jem Mutu, who was the last person to see Anna alive besides Brian. Jem had gone to celebrate New Year's Eve with Anna and Brian, and he left around 1 or 1:30 in the morning the day that Anna died. In 2020, Brian had met Jem at a leadership conference, and then him and Brian and Anna all became friends. And then later, Jem hired Anna to work for him. A couple days before Jem came to celebrate New Year's Eve, him and Anna talked on the phone. They talked for 20 minutes on December 29th, and Jem says they were discussing her marital issues with Brian. He keeps calling it marital issues in front of the jury, and the judge keeps striking him saying that. But because he keeps saying it and the judge keeps striking it, it's just repeating it over and over in front of the jury. They are not supposed to consider that statement. But as they say, you can't put the poop back in the horse. And what is said in court cannot be unheard by jurors. And regardless, the rest of his testimony was consistent with the statement that Brian and Anna were having marital issues. Anna was upset that Brian was on home confinement in Massachusetts and she couldn't bring her kids with her to DC. And to be clear, I think she saw this as Brian's doing. In 2018, he was sentenced on charges related to his art fraud, where he passed off fraudulent Andy Warhol paintings as if they were real. And in 2021, he was about to be sentenced and not receive any prison time. But Brian had lied on his financial disclosure, and he did not admit a bunch of money that his mother had given him, and also money that he had stolen from his own father after his father died. And also he didn't admit any of the money that Anna had, which he had access to as her husband. So because of trying to mislead federal officers in the FBI, they stopped the sentencing, enhanced Brian's charges, and said, "You're going to jail now." All of this went down in the summer of 2022, and months prior, Anna had just gotten her dream job in DC. In March 2022, Anna got this job at Tishman Speyer. She bought the house in DC. It's a 4-bedroom. She furnishes it for the kids. She buys them clothing. And Brian is ruining the plans by lying to the FBI. It's just more of a delay in Anna's dream to get her whole family together in DC. And on their December 29th phone call, Anna was telling Jem that she was exhausted from traveling back and forth from Massachusetts to DC. As we already knew, Jem came to visit Anna and Brian on New Year's Eve, but we learned more information about that evening. Jem says he remembers Anna running out to him with no coat to greet him. This is of significance because Anna's jacket was found among the things thrown away by Brian Walshe. I think the Commonwealth wants the jury to wonder why Anna's coat would be thrown away if she wasn't wearing it initially when she saw Jem and never went outside again. Does that mean that Anna had gotten dressed to leave? Her car keys, her boots, her purse were also with the jacket. But I suppose the defense could argue that Brian threw those things away to better cover up his tracks and make it look like she had taken a flight to DC. I don't buy that, I'm just saying. I also saw the box of champagne that Brian, Jem, and Anna all signed. And Jem testifies that he remembers seeing Anna text various people that evening, including her friends and also her affair partner, Will Fasto. Jem had known Will Fasto for about 20 years, and he's actually the one that introduced Anna and Brian to Will. Will worked in real estate, and he helped Anna and Brian buy a house for Anna in DC. Jem says that on New Year's Eve, he remembers Anna saying something to the effect of, "Let's take a picture together and send it to Will Fasto." It is unclear to me whether or not Brian saw that text or heard that conversation about her texting Will Fasto, but the implication is clearly that Anna was texting her affair partner on New Year's Eve in front of her husband. Extremely importantly, probably the most important evidence of the whole trial, in my opinion. At some point in the evening, Brian tells Jem that his cell phone is missing. Brian had originally told police that he didn't notice Anna was missing sooner because his phone was gone. Brian claimed that his 6-year-old child took the phone, put it under his pillow, and it was gone for 2 days. So Brian telling Jem on New Year's Eve that his phone is already missing, and Brian said it was freeing to him. That is to me the strongest evidence that Brian was preparing an alibi for killing his wife. Because now we know that that was all a lie. The phone was active, it was being used, it was plugged in, and he just told Jem that it was missing to set up this story. Jem was deeply concerned when Brian called him and was like, "Anna is missing." He was like, "We have to find her." And on cross-examination, the defense kind of implied that Anna was trying to get it with Jem. They were like, "Anna is interested in you, right? And you were with another coworker and Anna was jealous, right?" At one point, they were even asking if Anna had brought him food in the evening by herself. We also heard from Anna's good friend in DC, Alyssa. 2 of them became close after Anna moved to DC, and then Alyssa quickly learned about Will Fasto. Anna would talk about her interest in Will, and she would talk about their connection. And Alyssa says that Anna talked about what could have happened between her and Will. A week before Anna died, she had gone missing on Christmas. She had plans to fly home to see Brian and the children, and she purposely had her flight refunded. She told both Will and Brian that the flight was canceled due to weather and that she would have to drive up instead. But she didn't tell Brian this until like noon or 1 o'clock the day that she was supposed to fly out at 6:30 in the evening. And I guess Brian had been worried. He was texting her and he ended up calling Alyssa to look for her. And Alyssa got so worried that she started to get ready to go drive over to Anna's house in DC and check on her. Then Brian was like, never mind, I heard from Anna. Alyssa and Anna spoke later that day, Christmas Day, on the phone, and Anna was really mad that Brian had called Alyssa. Not only did he call her on a holiday, but Anna said that they were only out of communication for about a couple hours. The same day that Jem and Anna have their phone call where Anna reveals her marital problems, the 29th of December, Anna and Alyssa go out that evening. They go to a bar and then they go to karaoke dancing for 6 hours. She repeatedly clarified it was karaoke and dancing together. It sounds like they had a really good evening and I'm glad they had those memories, but I did cry a lot during all of the testimony today. She said that when they went out, Anna was still upset about what had happened over Christmas. Alyssa said that Anna was usually joyful and strong and she had hit a breaking point. Anna told her that everything in the house was in Anna's name and she was looking at ways to bring the boys to DC and get custody of them. Anna had revealed to Alyssa that Brian and Anna were not intimate for over a year. There were no marital relations because Brian was so depressed over his federal case and crimes. Alyssa also said that Anna told her that Brian would sometimes just not tell Anna he loved her. Instead of saying he was in love with her, he would ask her how much she was in love with him instead. And quote, this time she said not as much because of everything. Also, she said that Brian's mom had gone to a psychic and the psychic was like, I think that Anna is cheating on your son. Actually, speaking of Brian's mom, I forgot to mention earlier that Jem testified that he one time went to one of Brian's hearings to support him, one of the federal hearings for the art fraud related charges, and he was sitting in the gallery with Anna and holding her hand, and apparently Brian's mom got upset about this and brought it up to them later, making some implications about Jem and Anna. Anyway, so Brian's mom speaks to a psychic who apparently says that Anna is having an affair. And yes, either the psychic knew something or Brian's mom was giving real big, tell me my daughter-in-law is having an affair energy. Like maybe she went in there and was like, tell me what I want to hear, which also happens to be the truth. Anna told Alyssa that Brian's mom did not like Anna and that it was kind of scary. And Anna had the impression that Brian's mom did not want her in the picture. The jury also heard about Brian Walsh's Home Depot purchases, which is more cleaning supplies and like tarps and stuff. Another Tyvek suit, just gross stuff. And they also heard about how he lied to his parole officer about his home confinement schedule. He had told them that he was going to pick up his kids when he was actually going out and making these crazy purchases. Alyssa was the last on the stand. I think her and Jem's testimony were both extremely believable, very moving. They both very clearly loved Anna, and I feel for them so much. At one point, Jem was recounting how Brian and Anna's son had given him a necklace, and it just broke my heart because Jem had texted his group chat with Anna and Brian and been like, I love my necklace. I'm wearing it everywhere. Everybody's complimenting me on it. And I was trying to figure out what this necklace was that Anna and Brian had given him, but really it was the oldest child. And that's just such a slice of life moment, a memory to have, and then total devastation within a few hours of you leaving. I feel really bad for Jem. The defense gets to go next and present their case in chief. They have 8 witnesses on their witness list. The witness list for the defense is 5 forensic experts. It's Brian Walsh's former attorney, Tracy Minor, a private investigator, which might be the one that his mother had hired, and also Michael Proctor. I don't know if they're going to call Michael Proctor. I mean, they might. I don't know. I really don't think they could bring up any of the stuff that he did in the Karen Reed trial because it would be more prejudicial than probative. But maybe he did something in texts about Brian Walsh's case. I will say he's not really one of the people that had hands on any of the evidence in this case, so I don't think he will impact anything. That's all I know about this. Love you guys. Drink water. Bye.